Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars is an introduction programming manual that was uncovered accidentally in 1986 by an employee of Boeing Aircraft who bought an IBM copier for scrap parts at a sale. Inside that copier were the details of a plan which called for control of the populace, utilizing a manipulation of society via traditional pastimes, the educational system, and political beliefs. An operations research manual that served as a technical declaration of a domestic and biological war upon humanity. Its origins come from the Harvard Economic Research Project from 1948, a creation of World War II operations research. Its aim was to control an economy beginning with the American economy and then the global economy. It was soon recognized by those in positions of power that the same methods might be useful for totally controlling society, but more efficient computers utilizing analysis and automation, correlating massive amounts of constantly changing data, were necessary in order to social engineer an unsuspecting population in order to race ahead of the targeted society and predict when society would arrive for capitulation.
The power to hack human beings can of course be used for good purposes, like providing much better healthcare. But if this power falls into the hands of a 21st century Stalin, the result will be the worst totalitarian regime in human history, and we already have a number of applicants for the job.
A passage from the document reads, "Since energy is the key to all activity on the face of the earth, it follows that in order to attain a monopoly of energy, raw materials, goods and services, and to establish a world system of slave labor, it is necessary to have a first strike capability in the field of economics. In order to maintain our position, it is necessary that we have absolute first knowledge of the science of control over all economic factors and the first experience at engineering the world economy. Eventually, every individual element of this structural automation comes under computer control by manipulating their personal preferences."
The anti-vaxxers are out there, they are loud, and this has become personal. I just wanted to ask, how are you managing that?
Well, it's kind of weird. So it's somewhat ironic to have somebody turn around and say, no, we're using vaccines to kill people or to make money, or, we started the pandemic. Even some strange things like that I somehow want to track, the location of individuals because I'm so deeply desirous to know where everybody is. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that information.
For the first time in history, it's possible to completely eliminate privacy. It was just never possible before, and it is possible now. Something fundamental has changed. When dictators always dreamt about completely eliminating privacy, monitoring everybody all the time, and knowing everything you do, and not just everything you do, but even everything you think and everything you feel. Whether it's a tyrant in ancient Greece or whether it's Stalin, they always dreamt about it. They could never do it because it was technically impossible. Now it's possible.
Meanwhile, the silent weapon is applied gradually. The public reaches a point that they can no longer tolerate, and the silent weapon is then dialed down, and then dialed back up to increase pressure on the vitality, options, and mobility of the individuals of a society by knowing, understanding, manipulating, and attacking their sources of natural and social energy and their physical, mental, and emotional strengths and weaknesses. Everything that is expected from an ordinary weapon is equally expected from this silent weapon by its creators, different only in its own manner of functioning. Therefore, the silent weapon embedded in our day-to-day lives is no different than an ordinary weapon, but rather than firing bullets, it unleashes propaganda at a specified moment, propelled by data processing under the orders of a Bilderberg-attending banking magnate instead of a military general.
When everybody has to wear a biometric bracelet which constantly monitors your blood pressure, your heart rate, your brain activity, 24 hours a day. You listen to a speech on the radio by the great leader, and they know what you actually feel. You can clap your hands and smile, but if you're angry, they know you'll be in the gulag tomorrow morning.
When Homo sapiens became much smarter than other primates, it pushed all the other ones into small habitats. They're just in the way. You could make a swarm of assassin drones for very little money. by just taking the Face ID chip that's used in cell phones and having a small explosive charge and a standard drone, and have them just do a grid sweep of the building until they find the person they're looking for, ram into them, and explode.
The public cannot comprehend this weapon and therefore cannot believe that they are being attacked and subdued by a weapon that doesn't appear to exist. The gaslighting by those wielding the weapon causes the public to assume that there is nowhere to turn to for help aside from those in control. The more awareness of this diabolical weapon of social engineering, the more likely a revolution will truly begin against the impending New World Order. John Bound reporting.